Hi, Rachel Ramsey here on the floor at ITEXPO Miami with Eric Todd from NETXUSA. Welcome.
Hey Rachel, thanks for having me. Again, Eric with NETXUSA, showcasing here as far as ITEXPO in Miami this year. Some of our innovations that we've done with our partner Digium on SwitchVox. What we're showcasing actually is some innovations that we've really used for service providers and carriers, that level of intelligence and automation, and move that towards really deploying PBXs as far as for resellers and users. And what this does is actually provides the methods to configure SwitchVox products in a highly automated fashion to where it's dumbed down, it's a scalable process, ensures that, for example, common things like, common license requirements for SwitchVox PBX is correct for the appliance that the reseller is utilizing. Even things like selecting cards and phones. So that's kind of where the base of the product starts, is helping a reseller build the actual SwitchVox application and determining what's going to be used for their actual reseller for the install. So it gives you common things like, for example, how many users can this PBX support, what analog cards, what licensing, for example. And then it kind of gets into saying things like the appliance options, setting up extensions, for example. And we'll find out if this internet connection works for us. So in this step, as an example, it asks you how many extensions you like. Well, the nice thing is there's checks and balances in here that ensures that, hey, if I need 10 extensions, you define that. It knows that the box can support 10. If I type in 50, it says, you've reached a limitation, you can't go beyond that. So very, very intelligent in helping a VAR really build out a PBX and knowing the limitations of that appliance and PBX, so when they request it, they're getting exactly what they need and support it. So that's kind of one piece of that. The next piece really dives into that. You get through the configuration, you build it out. The core piece that really ties in with what we've done here, let me go to one more screen, is really our configuration platform. And this is all based off of our ChannelWare universal provisioning system. And what this is our configuration platform. It's been developed in-house. We've got some patents pending on this. The reason we kind of won this innovation award from the folks at ITEXPO TMC, appreciate that. And what it does is it's a universal CPE configurator. So literally this platform we've developed in-house for the past 6 to 7 years can configure virtually any CPE, phones, routers, switches, access points, wireless, video, you name it. So it's a templating and profiling system that we use for our service providers. Well, this same platform, of course, is used for SwitchVox. So the screen we saw earlier was the wizard to kind of build the product. This is the piece, the layers that are for the actual product configuration. So now, hey, as a reseller, you can build the PBX and all of its options and cards and those kind of things in your phones, your Digium phones as an example. Now you can go in here and set up profiles for the actual appliance. So what you can actually do is set up different groups for common configurations. We'll say, for example, this group is, we call this default, just a generic name. It's for a SwitchVox appliance, this model, this version. And then what that customer can do, in this case the reseller, can set up different profiles. For example, you may have a profile for medical installs, a profile for installs for retail. And those all have common settings that you would utilize within that appliance. So you set up these common settings in this profile, save that, and then that can be used in the actual provisioning, the last step for the purchaser, which is really the provisioning wizard. So all this is very simple to use. It's a Q&A, simple step-by-step process that we've got here. So for example, I can type in a company name, going into that, the phone number, all very typical things that you'd have from your end customer, right? So it's got to ask all these common questions. The end goal of this is the customer is actually able to, in this case our customer, the reseller, is able to set up the PBX virtually from our system through the web portal or even an API, okay? And what happens is all the basic settings for SwitchVox and its phones are pre-set up in our facilities, all automated, 100% automation. We're not doing this manually on our end. We're using SwitchVox's APIs to do this, and we're loading all this configuration as it's requested into the device. So the end result is the customer actually gets the product deployed to them in a plug-and-play fashion. So literally it shows up, they plug in the box, they plug in the phones, they have their networking gear that also can be configured through us, and it shows up, they literally plug it in, can make a phone call outbound and receive phone calls inbound. The net effect is it allows for consistent installations, and they're reducing on average the install time at minimum 8 hours. So a full day's worth of work, that customer's enjoying as far as utilizing this level of automation. And we're doing this as far as the Switchvox configurator, free. It's a part of our partnership and what we do with the folks at Digium through that. So, and of course you can finalize the setting and going through a couple of these options real quick. I'm going to finish this up real quick on here. We'll type in some information. Let's see if we can skip through this. And basically what happens is at the last summary page, you've completed these Q&A steps. The installer can actually print out the summary of, oh, here's my IP address of the Switchvox system, my admin login, how many extensions I've configured. So it's a cut sheet. So a very, very organized, well-documented process that any reseller can kind of enjoy that's utilizing a Switchvox appliance.
Great. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
All right.
Thank you.